Are You Afraid of the Dark, which premiered in 1990 on Nickelodeon, became a defining gateway into horror for an entire generation. Framed around a group of teens known as the Midnight Society, who gathered to tell scary stories around a campfire, the series blended urban legends, supernatural folklore, and psychological fear into self-contained morality tales designed for younger audiences. Unlike adult horror of the era, the show relied less on gore and more on atmosphere, cautionary themes, and the anxieties of adolescence, turning schoolyards, summer camps, and suburban homes into spaces of dread. Decades later, it remains one of television's most influential youth horror anthologies, remembered not just for its scares, but for how it introduced suspense, consequence, and moral ambiguity to a generation discovering fear for the very first time.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of So You Like Horror. And this episode is a fun one, a special one, a unique one, and all those other words that go with this. I had a thesaurus out earlier today, so you know, I know words. So this episode that we're going to be doing falls in line with our theme for the year, which is horror television. And I wanted to start off with The Haunting of Hill House, which we did in January. And then I want to move on to a more family-friendly episode. One of two or three that we're going to do for this year. But the first one we're going to talk about will be the 1990s Nickelodeon television show, anthology show, if you will, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And joining me for this episode will be, across from me, Sarah Beth.
Hello.
And then to my left, Miss Sophie.
Hello.
Sophie is our daughter. And we wanted to do this episode, especially with Sophie, because, well, she's closer to childhood than we are. We remember watching the show growing up, and we can kind of call back to feelings of watching the show. But, you know, as you get older, you think you felt a certain way, but it's like, no, you say you feel that way because you feel that way now, or, you know, in hindsight. So it's a little bit more interesting to have someone younger sitting at the table to have this discussion. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Are You Afraid of the Dark always opened up their stories with submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. That was their opening line as they start their story. And they always sat around a campfire and told stories, and they were really creative, because we tried doing this once as kids, and let me tell you, we weren't creative at all. In fact, we weren't out there for more than 15 minutes before we were just like, this, we're not very good at this. So we moved on with our lives. But the second that you hear that line in the show, you already know the kind of space that you're going to be in. It's quiet, it's intentional, and it's built around storytelling. So, you know, you get more of the shared story, less of the spectacle, especially in the 90s. You didn't really have, for a Nickelodeon show at that, big budgets and
Yes.
what have you. I mean, they did have Ryan Gosling and Nev Campbell on once, but
Right.
they weren't superstars yet.
No.
But, you know,
Bet you they paid him in like Snickers bars or something.
they told Ryan Gosling, you get to be in Tiger Beat if you be in this episode. But what about money? No, Tiger Beat.
Teen Pop.
Whatever those are, I don't know. The ones with Kirk Cameron on the cover, and Nev Campbell was just like, I'm just happy to be here.
Right.
Because before you know it, I'm going to be a scream queen.
Gonna be a superstar.
Oh dear.
So, but yeah, basically, from there, you know, we frame, you know, the episodes, you know, as kind of a true family conversation. So, the three different perspectives, Sophie, Sarah, and myself, all in the same room, shaped by age, memory, and experience. And that's what makes Are You Afraid of the Dark such a perfect fit here. It's horror that doesn't talk down to kids, but also doesn't overwhelm them. Like it doesn't, like, it's never been over the top scary.
Nope.
but it's been age appropriate scary where
Yes.
when you get older, you realize, oh, it's not so scary after all. Like
Right.
Mouse's first Halloween.
Right.
So, with this show, Sophie kind of started off relatively early with the series.
She was about like, what, 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think the show more so is geared for like preteen.
I mean, I guess. I mean, we enjoyed it in middle school, but that's because that's when it came out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I'm only really when I was going back through the episodes, I realized I was only really familiar with season 1 because that was the age for me in catching it, and then I aged out of it a little bit. I caught an episode here and there later on, but the most memorable episodes and the ones that I probably get talked about most here will be from season 1 versus like season 2. I believe there are 6 seasons of the show.
I think there are 7.
Probably 7.
Maybe.
Like, yeah. There's a more than, the 1 or 2 that I've ever watched.
Fair.
So, and then there's also the reboot series, which
Correct.
That's what Sophie has upstairs on DVD.
Yes. I think it's like a season 1 and season 2, or it's like
3.
2 story. Oh, okay.
3
2
seasons.
stories, and I really like it.
We're going to get to talk about those a little later.
Hooray!
Yes.
So, Sophie, my first question that I want to ask you is, what do you think makes something spooky instead of too scary?
So spooky, I would think it would be like not really, really scary, just a little bit scary.
And what would be something that's a little bit scary for you?
A little bit scary would probably be, I don't really know.
That's all right.
Maybe some kind of Grimm fairy tale that I've heard before.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair. Yeah, those tend to be, they have a level of just enough discomfort and spooky, but nothing that makes you really feel like you're scared of everything after that, right?
Yeah, because the most Grimm fairy tales, I like listening to this podcast called Grimmer Grimmest, and they have, I think, 5 seasons now, and this guy named Adam
Gibwitz.
Gibwitz goes into a classroom and tells a bunch of Grimm fairy tales from the Brothers Grimm and Franz Scavo von Schoenwert
That's his real name.
to these kids in this classroom, and there are a bunch of fun stories, and they like commentating on it or like guessing what's happening, and it's really funny, and also there are just so many fun episodes, and I really like it.
Oh, good. And Sarah, when you were younger watching this, because what was it, 92 this came out?
Yeah, mid-90s, early to mid-90s, yeah.
I feel like maybe late 92 going into 93 maybe, because I was here in Maryland when I first saw it, and I got here summer of 92. So
It would have started that fall, I think, probably. So
yeah.
I would have started 6th grade.
And I believe episode 2 was the first one that I saw.
Okay.
So, and it's not like how TV is today where, everything's kind of sat out on the platter for you. You know when it starts, you know where it goes. Back then, you get some promos for it and what have you. And if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, or well, you're probably not going to get a rerun until the summer.
Yeah, you'd have to wait until later for you to see the repeat. So whenever I saw it was on, I'm like, oh, I'm watching it. Even if I just caught it midday on a weekend, I'm like, I'm rewatching it.
Like that, I think that's why I saw episode 2 as the first one for me, because I didn't know that it started the week before. In fact, I don't remember seeing any advertisements for it or advertisements for it beforehand, but I caught it on a Saturday night, enjoyed it, and what was it? The Tale of the Twisted Claw.
Yeah,
it was, and I for years I always thought that was the first episode, and until it popped up on streaming probably, where I could actually see it in order. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that was episode 2. What was 1? But for you, do you remember watching this when you were younger? Or, does it feel like, as we revisit it, does it, some of the stuff still feel kind of new to you?
No, I remember it all. It doesn't feel new. I might go, wait a minute, what was this one about? And as soon as you see a character, you go, oh yeah, that's this story.
Yeah, there are certain characters that do stand, like recurring characters.
Of course. Oh, I
that
love
stand
when
out.
they have, Vink and like Sardo are
Yeah.
like big reoccurring characters, which is fun.
Yeah, those were like the main two you would always see pop in and out.
Yes.
Like they're the ones that kind of kept it interconnected, I guess.
I actually thought about it the other day. I wondered if when the one young man told the story with Vink and the kids in the woods, I wonder if he's the one that always puts him in his stories, or if other people take the story and take his character and put him in other stories. Same with Sardo. It's like I wonder if a certain person around the campfire told Sardo stories, or if everybody kind of just played off the character and just added to that world.
Yeah,
So that would be something neat to look into.
Yeah, that it's something to kind of pay attention to, because like there are a lot of times like listen to the stories and just watching everything happen. Just you see it happening, but for me at least, I wasn't really paying attention to the detail and bringing thought to it further. And like, okay, here's our story, and then we move on. And I just mentioned the other day as we were looking at, I was like looking at the group of kids sitting around a campfire. I was like, that's a very diverse group of kids.
Extremely diverse, but the 90s were pretty diverse without it.
Yeah. Well, without calling your attention to it.
Exactly. It just was.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like, okay, well, we got to have this many black kids and this many Asian kids, and let's get one that's indigenous just for good measure. And don't forget we got to have 2 white kids too, because we got to.
And they would bring new characters in and be like, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just a group of kids, and I just happened to notice. So it was like, oh, that is a very diverse group of kids, without even thinking. Like, I mean, male and female, different races, and like even different kind of mindsets. Because I believe in the first episode they brought in the one guy, and he's kind of the tough guy.
He is.
The tough guy persona, which was like a heavy thing in those late 80s, early 90s, where it's like you always got to have someone that's like, I'm tough. I wear cut off sleeves on my shirt.
Kind of like the Slater kind of character.
Yeah. I mean, but Slater was on the wrestling team. So just so you
I'm
know.
just saying, like,
Although
the boy was the same kind of brown, same kind of macho.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Not similar, but like sprinkling of similar.
Actually, no. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I mean, I think they pretty much just said, "Hey, go find some Mexican kid.
Maybe.
Looks like AC Slater. Can we get Mario Lopez? Like, no,
no. All right.
Like, bring in a kid that kind of looks like him. Oh, his hair's not as curly.
It's fine. He's gonna wear a hat most of the time.
It'll be fine. Can he be tough? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, because I guess that was the thing for the 80s and 90s. Like, our Mexicans are tough. Well, meanwhile, they're just sweethearts. At least the ones that I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of like context and just the history of the show, though, when Are You Afraid of the Dark premiered back in the 90s, it was kind of a genuine outlier in kids television. Like Nickelodeon, we know Nickelodeon for like The Elephant Show. What was David the Gnome?
Eureka's Castle.
Yeah, that was the one.
You can't say that on TV.
Yeah, no, it's television.
Oh, okay.
You can't say that on television.
Family
that
Double Dare.
also had Alanis Morissette.
Oh my.
And when you go looking at the casting, they got pictures of everyone but her.
Oh. Wow.
Which is wild. It's like, so y'all just going.
They mad at her or something. I don't know.
I think Alanis is mad at them.
Maybe.
She probably wrote a song about them.
Oh, no.
You ought to know.
No, that's not about it.
No, but you ought to know it.
Oh.
But yeah, like Nickelodeon was kind of in this phase of like doing things like that, and they started kind of drifting into like things like Clarissa Explains It All, and then Are You Afraid of Dark was along there, because these were on the Saturday night things, which was
with all that and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that was a few years later.
But still, they had this at the same time.
We're talking about early 90s.
Anyway,
it ain't all.
It all blurs. Okay. One big colorful blur.
Not for me.
Okay.
I got the memory here and notes. But yeah, they were in kind of an experimental phase. But even then, like coming out with like a horror anthology aimed to children felt kind of risky. Well, because like we had horror shows that were anthologies such as Night Gallery, Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark Side, things like that. And even when I watch Are You Afraid of the Dark, I get some beats of Friday the 13th, the series.
When and where was Erie, Indiana? Was that Nick one?
That was 90s.
Late 90s?
Mid
90s.
to
Okay, so
late.
this was already started.
Because I know Charles really liked that one. Which I've actually never seen it.
No?
No.
Oh.
Like, I think, again, there was kind of an aging out phase for me.
True.
With some of these things. So, because, I mean, Power Rangers hit big right when I stopped watching all that.
Yep.
Also, I'm like a cartoon guy. And Power Rangers, like, it was not like cartoons. It was not drawings. It was not animation. It was humans, like, skipping school to jump clay monsters. It just felt a little weird to me.
And to transform their little things into a bigger transformer. And
Well, I mean, when I saw that, I was like, oh, dog, this is Voltron. Like, what are we doing here?
Basically.
So, but either way, it like for Nickelodeon to do this, it felt like a risk. You know, the show wasn't built on spectacle or shock or anything. It was structured like a, again, campfire storytelling type series, which was something new as well. So, everything that they're doing just felt so different, which is what kind of made it special and made it stand out, I think.
It's like a kid's version of just all the Night Gallery and Twilight Zone. And that's all it is.
Toned down, obviously.
Well, of course, it's age appropriate. Just enough.
Like, there wasn't any blood, there wasn't gore. It wasn't excessive.
No, there was a little bit of danger involved.
Like the most blood you got was the tale of the nightly neighbors, because there was vampires.
Right.
I think the one with the most blood was it the last one of the last season where they're in the hospital with those vampires running around? That one scared me a lot, but I like it.
Oh yeah, the hospital one.
Yeah.
Everybody kept getting like drained and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But were they showing blood?
No,
with
they were
that
not
one?
showing
No,
blood.
just this ginormous bump on their neck, and
They'd have the holes on their neck, the bite marks.
It would be weird.
It looked weird. I
But
yeah.
With the other vampire one, it was mostly like they're trying to fit in, but
The neighbor one.
It doesn't work out.
That's okay.
Like the nightly neighbors one always stood out to me because the blood looked like Kool-Aid.
It does.
The black cherry Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
You know what it probably was.
When I first saw it, I was like, man, if that's what they're drinking as vampires, sign me up, son. Immortal and you're getting Kool-Aid all the time? Like, dude, let's make this happen.
Perfect.
Right.
So yeah, like basically all of this was kind of a new reach for Nickelodeon, for television, period. Because most television, for the most part, coming out of the 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, they started getting television towards teens.
Yeah.
And then this here, going into the 90s, started gearing television towards preteens.
Well, and think about it. They had kids already sucked in for TGIF.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was sucking you in on Saturday nights as well.
Snick. Because you always had to have something clever. TGIF, thank God it's funny.
Friday. Yeah. Thank God it's funny. Thank God it's Friday. Yep.
And then you got Snick. Saturday. Nick.
Yep.
Was it like Snick at Night?
Snick at Night, something like that, yeah.
No, Nick at Night.
Nick at Night was the
Nick
big
at Night
one.
was like the oldies.
Yeah.
Like when they're showing like I Love Lucy and things like that.
Yeah.
And the Honeymooners.
Yeah.
Which, that seemed appropriate.
Yeah.
Pow, right in the kisser.
Right. One day, Alice.
Teaching our kids to punch people in the face.
Oh.
Wow. So the ideal of sitting around a campfire was kind of the big standout. That, like I said, we tried it as kids. We didn't have a campfire, but like we had flashlights, and where my grandparents live, behind house was all those woods. So a group of us would walk through the woods. We had like a little patch we'd always go to during the day anyway. We walked out there one night, sat down with our flashlights. It wasn't too cold. Tried to tell some ghost stories and realized none of us were very good at it. And even though like I love writing stories, but like sitting down and thinking it out and putting it together. Because when you look at the show, like one of the kids actually on one of the episodes, he had been sitting quiet. I think this was the episode for Tale of the Nightly Neighbors. And he spoke, and the tough kid goes, oh, he speaks. And they're like, oh, leave him alone. He hasn't, you haven't shared it in a while. I was like, yeah, I've been working on this story for a while. And like it like now as an adult, I hear, I was like, oh, I guess, you would have to kind of sit there, work on a story and bring it back to the table.
I mean, like if one person's telling one, say like once a week, every other week, you have time for you to curate a story.
Yeah, I think again, as a kid, not really understanding it though too, is that like we're thinking, oh, we have to tell the story and have to make it last half an hour. And it's like, oh, the show is just half an hour. Well, not even, like 25 minutes. But like us telling the stories, and that's why it kind of fell apart for us. But it was still the fun idea of getting your friends together and trying something. Like Sophie, would sitting around a campfire telling stories like this be scarier for you? Or nah?
I mean, it's a 50-50 because either depending on how I feel that night, or either if I'm feeling good, then I might like it. But if I feel like I'm just afraid of something that night and I've been traumatized, then I would not be happy with that and I would just not show up.
School words. Traumatized.
Yes.
Yes.
A word that I've used many times and seen.
Okay. Yeah, like well, I remember back out. I don't know, Sophie. I don't remember how old she was, but I remember out at Crystal's.
2020. It was Halloween.
Oh no!
And she was 4.
Like we sat around the fire pit.
We told ghost stories and stuff.
I
Yes.
can't remember what story I told. I know it scared Lily, but I don't remember what story I told.
I don't remember.
I think it was something I just saw on like Instagram recently.
I didn't like Auntie's story. It freaked me out.
Because she added everybody into it. That's why. You're fine.
Disappeared.
You'll be all right.
Okay. And for you, Sarah, do you think that the show then, Are You Afraid of Dark back then, trust kids more than TV shows do now in terms of like fright? You know?
I mean, if your kid's her age, then yeah, I think they trust them more in a way.
Like back then?
Yeah. I mean, they were also kind of really giving it to where like the kids were in charge of making the decisions for things. So it was kind of like empowering in a way too, and kind of teaching them to think ahead and use their brains.
Sure. Yeah, I think the storytelling back then and just I think kids back then versus today especially feel different in the sense of like, I don't know that you can do the show this way these days, but I think a lot of why this worked is because I mentioned this the other day, like the monoculture, where it's like we were all kind of tuned in. Like they try to put something out like this today, you'll get like your pocket of kids who will be into it, but there's not many things where like, I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that like hits and everyone is a part of it now. Like I think the only thing that really connects everyone is Bluey and Bad Bunny. Like otherwise is like back then you could put something like this on, and like I said, even I found it, and then like we all were aware of it. But like telling stories like this or having a show like this back then for kids versus now, I think you could get away with a little bit more, even though it wasn't terribly scary. Like we were talking about it earlier. I think kids who grew up watching stuff like this became adults who felt a little bit more adjusted and could handle, like, you know, they had less anxiety.
Okay.
Whereas kids who didn't, they seem more anxious adults now and
Maybe.
just always nervous. And like, I mean, even the kids that you nanny, specifically the oldest, he did not like scary stuff.
No,
period,
but I
or
think
intense stuff.
all 3 of them inherited different forms of anxiety, considering that one of the parents also had extreme high anxiety, which is one of the things that your grandfather was studying, multi-generational anxiety and how it passes down. So, but yeah, I think they weren't sure how to express it. And then there was really no way to help them cope with things because they weren't expressing that they were feeling it. Yeah. But of course, we grew up in a time where I had anxiety every day and didn't realize it was anxiety because you just dealt with the day and you did what you had to do and you just keep going. So
I know the youngest one of those kids, when was it, like 2 years ago? I think we're all like kind of like intertexting, like between, because I remember you and I were talking and I ended up texting all 3 of the kids, like who are all adults now at this point.
Very much so.
But I know the youngest one, she's into horror. Because like when I mentioned the podcast, she was very interested. But I know the oldest one, he is not.
Well, he's not. No.
He's like, horror what? Nah.
No, not for me, son.
You're like, so you like horror? Absolutely not. I do not like anything of horror. I do not like jump scares. I do not like being. But I think that's the thing too. When people think of horror, they think of jump scares. They think of slashers. So sometimes you got to trick people, and then they realize, oh, maybe Silence of the Lambs is a good movie for me. Yeah, it is. So with Are You Afraid of the Dark, there are some core themes that were kind of picked out here. One of the big ones was fear as a learning tool. You know, you had stories that teach kids how to process their fear safely.
Yes.
Which is what we were just kind of talking about with anxiety, you know, in general. And then monsters often represent real world anxieties, like strangers, growing up, and being alone. These are things that I think the show exhibited very well. Sorry. So, you know, with that being what it is, that was a huge one that I picked up on later in life. Like I didn't think of it as a kid. I just looked at the show again as good storytelling, fun storytelling. Another thing that stands out is adults can't always help.
Absolutely right. They're not always available. Sometimes the kids make a choice and they're just not around, and so you got to deal with it.
Yeah. Like I did notice that with a lot of the stories, the parents were often absent or distracted.
Even in books, that's how it's written, because that character itself is supposed to deal with the issue. So you have to create it in a way to where they're kind of stuck doing it themselves.
Yeah. And you also had some cases where the parents didn't believe them either.
I don't like that. It's it happens a lot. And it's specifically, most of the time, the dad character. Unless it's a single mom, then of course, the mom's just too busy dealing with life and she can't be bothered with something that doesn't deal with the day to day. Yeah.
And that's an interesting way to look at it, because you have the parents that are absent, that are they're both too busy.
Right.
And they can't be bothered. Or you have the single mom who she's definitely busy. She's trying to like keep this house afloat.
Right.
So you're dealing with scary stuff. Then you have the dad, you know, more often than not
is aloof.
Yeah. He's just like, you know, he thinks you as a kid, you're being silly and he's just overlooking your feelings. Yeah. And it's like, it'll be okay. Like as a parent now, as an adult now, like how does that land differently watching shows versus like as a kid? You know, when we're coming up seeing this, it's like like we know because we're a kid, we get it, but like as a parent now, you look back on it, like how does that feel different?
I know for certain that I try to listen to my kid just in case there's something that needs to be analyzed, or give her tips on how to deal with certain situations, because I'm not always going to be around.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, I'm going to listen to her. I'm going to believe her, you know, and you could always tell when she was younger if she was telling a story that she's made up or something that actually happened. You could always tell the difference. We could always tell the difference.
I mean, sometimes I can make out the difference. But
when you're telling stuff?
Because if it's a dream that I have and I'm like, okay, is this real or is it fake?
Exactly.
And then the way I tell it to myself, I'm like, okay, that's probably fake.
Well, like you and I have discussed, when you've had certain dreams, we go, oh, isn't that funny how your brain dumped something from yesterday or the day before into your dream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't like it.
Oh, fair.
I had a friend who, I don't remember how old her son was, but she had been taken to the pool to learn how to swim. And then she had mentioned like the next day at work, like she had a nightmare about him like drowning. And she was like, I don't know what that means. Like, because I guess she was big into this whole, like, your dreams mean something. It was like, or it could just be that
your brain is dumping the information from the day.
Yeah. Like,
one of the reasons that you're making your child have swim lessons is because you want to make sure that that thing in your dream never happens.
Yeah.
So that's just your brain being silly and rude.
Like, come on, dude, relax. You're making too much of it.
Right.
Also, another theme here looks like consequences matter.
Yes.
Like some endings are ambiguous and, you know, just bleak. which those are my favorite, and then maybe that's where I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love me a good like movie that ends where it's like, ooh, looks like the bad guy wins again.
Right. Sometimes people don't win.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it just ends bad for everybody.
You know, not every story has a neat
Wrap up and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no resolution. It's not comforting, at least. So I love that. You know, they set that frame.
Yes.
Like I like the ideal of stories ending unfairly, you know, and how they can feel a little bit more honest, because that's the real world.
Yes.
So, you know, those are some of our key themes there. And as I mentioned, the episodes, like in season 1, that was the primary one that I watched. Some of the key episodes that stood out to me was The Phantom Driver, which actually turned out to be the first episode.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I did see that on a rerun years later. I thought it was just like, oh, a new episode. Never seen this one before, because I hadn't. But The Phantom Driver deals with 2 siblings that end up getting lost in the woods.
Yes.
And this kind of plays off that tough guy motif again, with like the older brother being
Oh my God, he was such
like
Jerk.
yeah, like a, you know, a jerkish bully. Like
Yeah.
the younger brother's very smart. He like they play these little tropes, like the younger brother like smart, he's nerdy.
Right.
Like it's time to do some riddles in the woods, and he's got the answers. Where the older brother's like, I'm tough and strong. I don't need to know things. I'm just strong.
right.
It's like, okay.
All right.
Well, sometimes you have to put intelligent before you do something else.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And this guy's just like, no, I'm gonna like fight my way out of this.
You weren't going to fight your way out of that today.
Like, nah,
No
buddy,
way.
you could even give us the answer to the riddle.
Yeah, it was
No,
a
but
pretty
you would've-
easy riddle.
You've been trapped there forever. If it weren't for you,
I remember that episode, and the next day at school, people were talking about it, and then like riddles were like the thing for a bit.
I remember that specific riddle. Weight list can be seen by the naked eye, and if you put it into a barrel, it makes a barrel lighter. I remember always using that on people, because like, even though this was like a big show, a lot of my friends, I guess, also missed that first episode and never caught the rerun. So when I caught it, I held on to that riddle, and anytime I wanted someone to like leave me alone or wanted to win a bet, I'd throw that riddle out there. I was like, "Got him! Now you owe me $3."
Oh, now I know how to do that.
Do you?
I
Do you-
can use that now if people are trying to make fun of me. Then I could be like, okay, so if you're looking at inside of a barrel and there's nothing in it, and there's like, what was the riddle again?
Yeah, we'll discuss the
Yeah.
riddle later, and we don't have to use that to make other people feel less about themselves.
Yeah,
If they're being mean, there's other ways to deal with it.
yeah.
Okay.
But either way, like basically, this was one of the early episodes, and it leaned heavily into the atmosphere over the spectacle. I mean, the creepy woods, the creepy cab. The story follows 2 siblings who got lost in the forest, and as night falls, they encounter the phantom cab, and the driver's kind of unsettling.
He's a little weird.
Yeah, like he seems less like a rescuer and more like a ferryman guide,
Yeah.
like that's taking souls somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
The tension builds not through violence, but through isolation. You know, like you drive through the woods, so there's endless trees, the darkness, and the creepy realization that the adults, they may not be here to help you.
They do not have your best interest at heart.
So the episode plays with the fear of being stranded and powerless, suggesting that some encounters feel less like coincidences and more like crossing into another realm. So by the end, the horror lingers in that in-between space where, you know, your childhood safety dissolves, morality becomes real, and the road home isn't necessarily guaranteed. So you run into, I can't remember the...
Dr. Vink?
Was it Vink?
Yeah, it's Vink.
But yeah, he was the one kicking out the riddles.
Yes.
and the
He was wanting some fresh specimens, so, you know, he was hoping they would get it wrong.
yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like he was like, look, we got to replace that cab driver. Like that cab driver's kind of trash. Like Like,
He's creepy.
Like, have you guys smelled him?
No,
Like,
stop.
Like, we need a new one.
He might just smell like a family of raccoons.
How does a
Possibly.
family of raccoons smell?
Maybe he's like, I don't know. I'm guessing raccoons smell like a bunch of hot garbage because they eat out garbage cans. That's what we call.
Hey, they like to wash their food if there's a water source.
Sure, but
If.
that's why we call them trash pandas.
Trash pandas.
And probably he's been hanging around with them in the woods, or like, and he could just be hanging out with some kind of weird animal, and then he would get used to that smell, and that animal would just smell terrible.
Okay.
And then he would smell like that. So you need to go to a watering hole.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, honey. And a big part of why this episode really matters is it introduces the kids to ideal that horror can wrestle with bigger concepts like death without overwhelming them, and providing an atmosphere, and suggests that, you know, there are things that are bigger, you know, than the moment. Sophie, if you were lost in the woods and a mysterious cab pulled up, you know, like you're lost, would you get in, or would you like, nah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and run?
Nope, I'm not going in that thing. I mean, I probably would. I would, but I'll be like, I'm going to have to think through this, and then I'll choose. And I'll think through it. I'll mostly just say, nah, man, I'm going to wait until a helicopter comes by.
Helicopter, really?
Helicopter.
So I'm just going to just be by the watering hole. Thank you.
Okay.
Well,
Thank
I mean, honestly, if you're ever lost, you know, and you're not familiar with the area, a good thing is just stay where you are.
Yeah.
So,
Stranger danger.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
But those two brothers did not stay where they were at.
Nope, they were.
They're going in circles.
Yeah, and the compass that they had. So I just saw this though. They basically talk about most compasses that you get like at a, you know, shop, trade and post, whatever. We get those in Scouts. They don't really work.
Well, they obviously also did not follow which direction the sun was setting either.
No,
But they also probably didn't know what direction they came from.
yeah.
So they didn't stay on a known path. They were just wandering around.
So it looks like that younger brother wasn't as smart as we thought.
I mean, he was smart, but not enough.
To be fair, he was probably getting distracted by his older brother. Who just
was
kept
probably
being
like
a bully.
Yeah, probably. Oh, go this way.
Yeah, so whatever. There's children on the show, so I can't say what I really want to say.
Yeah, I mean, they made it out, and that's how the story went. So there.
Yeah, so good for them. Let's make some noise.
That scared me.
So the next episode, which happens to be the second episode that really caught my attention, was the first one I saw, was The Tale of the Twisted Claw. And it's one of the episodes where it sets the tone for the series and kind of a moral backbone. The story follows two kids who come into the possession of a mysterious monkey's paw. Well,
It was vulture's claw, but she
Yeah.
said it was made of wood.
yeah, because they're out trick-or-treating. And, you know, I'd be thrown if, like, I come up and you throw a shriveled piece of wood in my bag instead of, like, a
Said it
Snickers
gives
bar.
you 3 wishes.
I don't want no 3 wishes.
A piece.
I want a Reese's cup.
You could wish for Reese's cups.
I mean,
Nah.
if she just gave me that and said, "I'll give you 3 wishes," I'd be like, "Well, if I have 3 wishes, I'll take my chances." But does it have to be a wooden claw? Like, why can't
Yeah,
it be
that's
just?
exactly what it is.
It could-
Would you
Yeah,
rather
that-
a real
yeah,
monkey's
that's-
paw?
No,
That'd be creepier.
Yeah,
I
she gave
get-
you what she gave you.
yeah, the wood seems better. But if I had the 3 wishes, I would get my chance, and then I would have the wishes that I would get, and I would be very, very happy.
I don't think they were, though.
Yeah.
Nope.
Because the trick to it is, no matter what you wish for, there's always going to be something to kinda,
Negative attached with it.
That's where the saying comes from. Be careful what you wish for.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah, right. There's a movie. I can't remember what it's called, coming out this year. Because I know the trailer, the teaser that they've been showing is like a guy on the phone basically saying like, "Hey, I have a question about, you know, one of the wishes." Like, and the guy's like, "Do you want to change your wish?"
Right.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, like I can't
No,
remember."
he
what
said,
it's
"Do you want to cancel your wish? You can't change it."
Yeah.
Because he wanted to change one part of it.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. It stays as is, or you can cancel it. There is no changing it.
Like, I don't remember the name of the movie. I'm
No,
sure,
but I remember seeing the video because the guy was in the car talking on the phone.
I don't want to see any more trailers for it.
No.
I just want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also another. So we got it playing in the background. Are You Afraid of the Dark? So we had Nev Campbell, we had Ryan Gosling, and Bobby Butnick from
Salute
Your Shorts. But he was also the little redhead kid from Different Strokes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good to see that he grew up and
for
continued
him.
acting at least into the 90s. I don't know what he's
a
doing
little
now.
bit. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at him like there, it's like, man, like I hope you did something with your look, homie. Like the way the hair was.
It was
it's
very
like,
90s.
Yeah.
It's that grunge look with the,
I hope he changed with the times.
band shirt and a flannel.
Yeah. Probably listen to a lot of Alice in Chains. He just looks the type. He was like, I don't want to listen to Nirvana. Everybody's listening to Nirvana.
It's too trendy.
I want to listen to Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Because only 8 of us were listening. We actually had a huge following, but
still.
It's like MTV always played Nirvana.
Yep.
And Pearl Jam.
Yep.
And Soundgarden.
Yes.
Actually, I think they played less Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, but even so, that guy looks the type. So anyhow, the kids, they get the vulture's claw, they make their wishes, and none of the wishes ever went the way that they wanted them to go.
And that's the point.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point. And like this is kind of that a supernatural cautionary tale about temptation and unintended consequences. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it matters is because it teaches that horror isn't always about external threats. Sometimes it's about what happens when we get exactly what we think we want. Mm-hmm. So, that episode, I always loved it. It always stood out to me. And whenever I could catch that one on rerun, I would watch. And even still now that it's on streaming, that's the one I always kind of go to anyway, because it's like, I want to watch that one. That's one that stands out the most. That, and then The Tale of the Nightly Neighbors, because that was the first time I think I can recall a twist ending that I can at least think that I can remember. Because you had these two kids that see they have new neighbors coming in, and they're watching, like they only like move around at night. That's kind of weird. And the boy was, always saying like, "Oh, they're vampires," until they saw him during the day. They're like, "Oh."
No, that's not that.
Like, why are you moving around during the day? This is weird.
They can't be vampires.
Until you get to the end.
Right.
Well, but then they did find all the blood. They're like, well, wait a minute. They have to be vampires. They got all this blood. And then I think they came over one night as a family. Mm-hmm.
No, they were invited in because dumb parents.
Well, and then they brought the kid.
Right.
And it was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, all right.
And
that's not going to help.
Then you find out at the very end, it wasn't the parents that were the vampires, it was the kid. Mm-hmm. They were just the handler of the vampire.
Well, because he looks like a child, so he needs somebody to help him with things because he can't just go wandering around like a kid.
I wonder if Let the Right One In plays, like, kind of got that
I thought about that.
from that.
Maybe.
That's the same ideal.
Well, I mean, like, you also think the Interview with the Vampire, she had to have adults around her because...
But they were adult vampires.
Right, but she was a child vampire.
Yes, I know.
So she had to have adult vampires around her.
But that came out in 1978.
I know.
So, well, the book.
The book did, yeah.
The movie came out sometime after this episode.
I know.
So, but they're also vampires. I'm talking about like adult humans.
No.
That are like handling the vampire.
I guess because if you do well, then you can become me one day.
I don't know if that's a good incentive.
Some people really like that fantasy of it, so they romanticize it.
But like that episode taught that horror can expose other biases, because again, the kids just assumed because of the accent and the family moving around at night, they
pale,
they're just like, oh my god, they're vampires.
Everybody was like super pale.
Yeah, and then sometimes the real danger isn't the monster itself. It's it happens to be oh, there's an underlying thing here. Like for this episode, I know it stands out for me. I'm not sure so much for Sophie with this one, but like even you, Sarah, like when you first thought they might be vampires, did you really like seeing that episode? Did you think the parents were vampires, or were you like?
I thought they all were.
Yeah, same.
I was like, oh, but I was still trying to figure out how are they getting around during the day. But
well, yeah, what movie was it? Bordello of Blood. There was some movie where like they put suntan lotion on and they could go out in the sun.
I thought
What is it? SPF 1000? Like, excuse you?
I was also thinking they were just wearing sunscreen because if you're a vampire and you're going out in the day, you're either going to need to wear a bunch of gear to cover you up like a cloak, but you can also have sunscreen, but you have to apply a lot of bottles of sunscreen on you so you can last longer outside,
Right.
or else you'll turn into crisp dust.
Or, like in the twist of Twilight, you didn't burn up in the sun, but your skin would glint like diamonds. So you had to live in a place where it was very cloudy and stuff most of the time.
You know,
And then you could go about during the day.
I do want to revisit a vampire episode and talk a little bit more about Twilight. Because of the whole diamond. Like, I know people during the time got all up and was like, vampires don't sparkle in the sun.
Yeah, well, her version does. So
And there is still an inherent danger to that, though, because
because then now you know there's something different.
you're revealed.
Yeah.
So I mean, it like I do want to revisit it, but I'm just not sure when. But I want to play with that ideal a little bit there because there's something to uncover there. Maybe it's people's biases.
Maybe.
Prejudices.
Yeah, because
Probably.
they're like, these vampires are beautiful. Well, like that's
That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be alluring.
yeah.
It's part of the danger.
Yeah, but every time like people talk about vampires, they always kind of call back to Lost Boys. It was like,
well.
I mean, for their time though too, they were alluring.
They
were
looked
beautiful.
regular, and then they showed their real selves.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, people need to like move on. Grow
It's also a
on.
fictional character.
Yeah. Oh,
Oop.
don't even start me on
You're welcome.
fictional character
You're
stuff.
welcome.
I think people are upset about the Odyssey and Lupita being Helen of Troy, and it's like
Who
someone's like,
cares?
oh, you know, the Helen who was like born of clay.
Yeah.
It's like
Like a golem? Seriously?
fictional character.
Is that how she came out?
I can't, like
Something like that?
there's more to it.
I'll have to look it
You'll-
up
you'll have to
anyway.
go Google it.
Sure.
I'm not going to
That's okay.
because you know me. I know all the info.
Yeah.
I don't need to look it up. So those were some of the earlier episodes that stood out to me, and I know throughout there were others that were really good, like the Tale of the Doll Maker.
Yeah.
What was the one with the radio? The you know, there's so many different ones in those first couple seasons, especially. But then in 2019, they rebooted it and they did things a little different. I believe they had 3 seasons. It looked like season 1 was called The Carnival of Doom. And the second season was The Curse of the Shadows. And the third season was Ghost Island.
Wait, there was a third season?
Yeah, we don't have the third one. We only have 2.
Oh.
We have the first 2 you mentioned, but the Ghost Island one we have not seen.
We haven't seen it? I thought that we've seen it. I know that we own the disc
The one with the
upstairs.
one with
Yeah.
the lighthouse
Yeah,
and the
the
carnival.
carnival.
Yes,
I love the lighthouse.
I recall seeing the Ghost Island one.
maybe we did, and I just don't remember at the moment.
Maybe.
Because I even remember when you got the other 2, you're mentioning that the third one, for whatever reason, we couldn't get it.
Yeah,
And it might have been still just too new, perhaps,
I don't know.
Probably.
not available. But yeah, with these newer seasons coming about, they did do things a little bit different than,
Each season was just one story,
yeah.
almost kind of like going through a novel as opposed to like a short story.
Yeah, which, I mean, even when Are You Afraid of the Dark did come back in the late 90s or early 2000s, they still kind of play with the campfire stories trope. But yeah, once they did the reboot in 2019, they just went straight to, I guess, more of a serialized, like, here's season 1. You're going to get whatever episodes that you have, and it's going to focus mainly on
On
this
the
one thing.
storyline. Yep.
And then, you know, season 2 comes out, but in 2021, so 2 years later. I mean, and the same thing. That was The Curse of the Shadows. And that was also the same deal. And then season 3, The Ghost Island, same deal. I haven't heard anything about any further revisits to the series, but I do like, I like the idea of like kid-friendly horror.
Oh yes.
I mean, we did the episode a couple years back, kid-friendly horror. And later on this year, we'll talk about Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Which is also, you know, a series of shows that growing up as kids, that's how a lot of kids got introduced to horror. Like, how kids should get introduced to horror. Some kids were introduced by just being sat down to watch Friday the 13th.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh no.
And it seemed like it was okay because it's at a camp, but it's not okay. Or like Halloween, because hey, there are 2 kids in this movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's a serial killer.
Yeah.
like this isn't okay. So, but yeah, I love the idea of, having shows like this because, like we mentioned, it helps ease anxieties for kids. It helps them kind of build a shield early on to understand, like, these are spooky stories, but they're not exactly like traumatizing.
Right.
Like, there were some episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark that
They were kind of deeper, darker than the others.
like the ghastly grinner, like the jester stands out to me. That ooh, kid, we got a kid here. I was about to start saying bad words.
Come on now.
But that grinning jester
Yes.
always stands out, and it's very
Menacing.
yeah. So, but that's probably the only thing, at least for me, that stood out that kind of haunted me. All the other episodes were like thought provoking for sure. So, but nothing that ever really made me like lose sleep. So I always feel like stuff like this is pretty safe. So a show like this, like, it still works, I think. Like, you can go back and watch the show because practical effects kind of hold up better than CGI ever would, even though some of it is a little corny and a little campy. I think the base stories still hold up. The stories respect children's intelligence. They don't dumb it down to a point where a child just can like look right through it and like, oh my goodness, I don't want to watch this. And the pacing is slower, so it gives the viewers time to breathe. They don't try to rush stuff. So I think that something like this can always kind of last. You could show this to kids today, and for the most part, they should be able to attach to it. And from a family angle, watching something like this together kind of changes how fear feels. And horror can serve as kind of a bonding experience, not so much like, oh, you watch it by yourself and now you're kind of like you felt this alone. Whereas like if we sat down, because most times when we watch this, we tend to sit down as a group and watch it, and we all might feel something different, but we all see the same. Like, we all experience the same, like, visuals at least.
Yes.
So yeah, basically all of this kind of connects as a gateway drug for horror, or as I like to say, gateway horror. So, one of the talking points here is we mentioned this as an entry point for a lot of horror fandom. I think a lot of folks, even when I've mentioned this on Off the Mats, as I'm talking about preparing, I've had guests get excited, like, ooh, like, you guys are going to be talking about Are You Afraid of the Dark? So I think, a lot of folks, again, in that younger Gen X, millennial age range.
Well, if you think about it, right before this came out, one of the biggest things to read was Goosebumps and Fear Street.
Fear Street, for sure. I know I was reading Fear Street.
Goosebumps was a big thing when I was in elementary school, like 4th and 5th grade, and I just inhaled them.
Yeah, I remember doing Fear Street back in Delaware.
Yeah.
So that was 90. I had a lot of Fear Street
I didn't do
books.
Fear Street until middle school, but
Yeah, I had a lot of Fear Street books. I want to say.
So I think having something like this was kind of like along those lines of like all that.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense. I mean, when you even think about Goosebumps as the book series and then the TV show,
because they're short, they're very short books.
Yeah, and
it kind of plays out like them telling a story.
Fear Street felt like we're a little longer, which I guess would make sense for older kids. So I remember going through like the first one I think was like a Secret Bedroom or something. It was like a green cover. Was the book, and then I remember the Prom Queen series, and all those things, which I think were adapted into shows on Netflix.
And I read a lot of Mary Downing Hahn.
I don't know.
Mary Downing Hahn is a Maryland author who writes horror stories like Wait Till Helen Comes, The Doll in the Garden, and stuff like that. So I read a bunch of those that were available at the time when I was about 10. So again, along with the Goosebumps stuff. So when this came along, it was like, scary stuff, right up my alley. Let's go.
Yeah, I think that all kind of goes in the pocket. And then when you start looking at like shows, or not shows, but like movies like Coraline, Frankenweenie.
Yeah, that one's cutesy, but Coraline's a little creepy.
Like,
I love Coraline.
Definitely is a good horror like style for kids.
Like Coraline was one that really, because I didn't really get drawn to Coraline until like she watched it, and then I think I still have the audio where, because we did the kid friendly episode horror twice, and the first time I know she talked a lot about Coraline, but like even hearing the premise of that, I was like, it's
creepy. The other mother.
That's creepy on a level where I'm like, are you sure
this is
buttons
in
kids?
your eyes and keep your soul? Yeah.
Like, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I tried to get my friend to watch it, and like very close to beginning the movie, like I think was the second or first time she went into the other world. She was done. She was done. She got freaked out, and I'm like,
it's a creepy movie.
And I'm like, all right, suit yourself. You're missing out on stuff. It's
But,
an amazing movie, and I mean, it's a little freaky. It freaks me out a little bit, but I like the creepiness of it. But also, I like the part about the buttons, and that I've learned many weird details and secret Easter eggs hiding during the thing. Because at some point, the cat says he can only teleport to where he wants to in the other world. But by the end of the movie, we see the outside of the house, and he teleports through a sign. So that means Coraline's still trapped in the other world, but it's just all an illusion, and it looks like she's back in the other world. And the garden that was in the other world had a picture of Coraline with all the flowers. But for in the real world, which probably might be her trapped in the other world, it has the other mother's face in it. So that's
right.
a little freaky part. Because I haven't realized that part in a while, and then I realized it. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
So you got stuff like that's influenced by Are You Afraid of Dark, Goosebumps, Fear Street, all those things. Which Goosebumps became a TV series. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, Fear Street did get adapted on Netflix into stuff. But I remember always wanting to see Fear Street stuff played into television as well. For a question for you, real quick, as it relates to Sophie here, would you rather Sophie discover horror through like means like Are You Afraid of Dark, or something louder and faster and just more like, not exactly like the grown-up horror, but like things that kind of teeter, like The Faculty or Final Destination?
Well, I mean, she was already introduced, to actual grim fairy tales. And then with reading Adam Gibwett's trilogy novels of you're following different characters through like Hansel and Gretel, and you have like they did like the little Netflix cartoon. It's gruesome.
Yeah.
People get beheaded. People lose fingers, and a few other you gotta trick the devil in hell, and so. But he does it in a way that takes the scary thing, but then makes it kind of funny. Like you had the lady who was eating the children. It's kind of like, but that's playing off of Hansel and Gretel and the witch, but it plays off of fairy tales. But it's not pretty. But there's ways to make fun of it.
But I think
to make it lighter.
Because the fun part about that part is that they have talking ravens that are ridiculous.
The talking ravens were really funny in the story, yes.
And the stories...
Comic relief.
Like, the stories that they have, it's not so gruesome, but it's good enough. I mean, I like the gore in it. It's amazing.
Right.
But
so she's been introduced slowly to little things here and there that kind of introduce not so normal conversations.
Or our household has always been kind of... like, we don't shy away from stuff necessarily. No,
because the world is what the world is.
I mean, when she turned 8, we watched Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so it's not like... I mean, again, when I was 8, what did I watch? Actually younger. I remember watching Halloween 2. I was like, that explains a whole lot. So, I need to be sending those therapy bills to my mom.
Just saying.
Like I just had therapy last week. So, So yeah, excuse me, had the burp there. That pizza pretzel was pretty tasty.
No, I bet it was.
It's the way it is.
Yep. So kind of closing out here, just had a couple questions here.
Okay.
One for Sophie.
Hooray!
For Are You Afraid of the Dark, did you have a favorite episode that you really liked?
I have two, which is the one with the vampire families and the last one with the hospital.
Oh, the hospital one?
yes.
Okay.
Good. And for you, Sarah, the episodes, do they hit differently now watching them as a parent versus watching them as a kid? Or is
No, it's just like pure nostalgia for me.
cool.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I look at it the same way, kind of as nostalgia. Like, I just, whenever I look at it, I don't think of it as like, because it's a kid show. So I don't think of it as like, oh, I have to check this to make sure my kid can watch it. Even though there are a lot of things from like the 80s and 90s where it's like we watched them, it's like, then you look, it's like, ooh, we probably should not have been watching that.
There were so many of those things, but at the same time,
this one's directly meant for kids because you know it's on Nickelodeon, and it wasn't like necessarily like a borderline like, oh, you know, this is for the older kids, but operative word is kid. But yeah, I still look at it now as just nostalgia.
yes,
It's like if I'm
it's
watching
just enjoyable.
I feel like, okay, she can watch it too, and it'll be fine. Are there lessons to be learned? I definitely see them now. I didn't necessarily see them then. I was just like, I'm just a kid watching TV. But now it's like, as an adult, I still am just a kid watching TV. But sometimes I'll pick up on some like, oh, you know what? There is a lesson to be learned there. You know, like with great power comes great responsibility type stuff. You know?
Like, what do the kids say now? There's a lot of characters in there that act really sus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we call most people sus guy.
They're being suspicious.
Yeah, but we alphas just shorten it down and we just say sus, S-U-S. It's so much easier. So we don't have to write the longest word in the universe.
Because y'all
Just-
can't spell.
It's true.
Rude. I mean, that's one thing called learning.
Well, I mean, you're still young. You're still learning, of course, but you're not the only generation to have slang terms.
Yeah.
Sure, there are a lot with
Every
different-
generation has slang terms.
I honestly wonder, like a lot of kids that are saying sus, how many knows like
Can
what
you
it's
actually
short
spell
for?
suspicious?
Well, I wonder if they
No.
even know what it's short for.
Right?
Or if
Do
they're
you
just
know?
saying. So
I mean-
that's for another conversation, another day, another time. And as I wrap up here, I want to say that this series, this show, still belongs in the horror conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Just as the ideal, again, a gateway horror or a gateway show to get kids kind of into the ideal of the horror realm. As you're coming up, again, we were a little bit more unconventional, at least I was, because I was watching horror from a very early age, probably shouldn't have been. But if you look at it kind of properly, it's like, okay, you come up with this show, then you come into Goosebumps, and then you go into, you know, now you kind of start going into your teen series. Like, again, I like the faculty a lot as a good, like, transitional movie for, you know, kids going into that teenage realm of a
Right.
horror movie to watch, because it's not gruesome. It doesn't have gratuitous nudity or anything.
No.
There's like one part where, like, not to spoil anything, but like the one girl's walking. It's like, oh, but other than that, it's like, okay. But it's still,
It brings in that high school drama, that
Yeah.
teen drama.
yeah, without it being anything like more than what it needs to be.
Right.
Because I think for a long time with like stuff in the 80s, like, oh, they're teens, so you know what teens got to do. And it was like, okay, like, I guess. But, you know, as you're bringing your kids up on this, maybe that's not what we need our kids watching. So I think Are You Afraid of the Dark still belongs in the conversation because it's a good start off, you know, point for a lot of kids. And for us adults, it's good nostalgia.
Yes, it is.
So I can dig it. Everybody can dig it. And I like it. I'm going to continue to watch it. And I'll even watch, you know, these new ones. Because I haven't really sat down and fully watched them. I think I've started some and then like found new activities while you guys were watching. So, and even the new Goosebumps that was on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like,
we started watching
we started
that.
it.
Oh,
There's just too
yeah.
much content.
There is just too much stuff
Yeah.
going on.
I mean, I wasn't really paying attention, but you guys were kind of enjoying it.
It was starting to get into it at that point.
Then we started forgetting about it because we got busy with other things.
Well, yeah, life was busy.
Yeah,
so.
but were you gonna ask me any questions about like the new show?
Well, sure.
All right, because I have a lot of questions or like answers about season 2 because that's a good one.
I was just going to ask you about what you liked in the first season.
The carnival one.
Oh, the carnival one. I don't really remember much about the carnival one because I didn't really watch that one.
You watched it.
I mean, not all the time.
You just weren't super interested in it.
Well, then tell me what you like about the second season.
Okay, so basically the second one, I like almost everything about it because it basically takes off this, like, way back in the day where this single dad is living with his daughter inside a lighthouse, and she's curious about something, I think, and she's grabbing a key off a cliff, but she slips and falls into, I think, a lake? Was it?
It's by the ocean because I'm pretty sure it was an ocean.
Probably.
I don't remember. It's been a while since we've watched it.
Then her dad got upset, and then something like consumed him into a shadow man, and then
Shadow Man was creepy.
yeah, and then it goes a few years later. These kids are just playing in the neighborhood hide and seek in the middle of the night, which is very terrible. But luckily they have flashlights, which is good. And this one little girl runs into the woods where the lighthouse used to be, and then she got found, and then she went home that night, and she went to sleep, but she couldn't sleep because she saw the shadow man coming towards her bed. Then her mom came in because she screamed very loudly, and then she wanted to sleep with the light on. She did, and then it turned off, and then she got taken away. Nobody saw her again, and then many more years later, a bunch of other kids disappeared, and then it comes to like probably like our time right
Which
now.
we call modern times, right?
Yeah, and then there are a group of teenagers, I think, and they go out and try to fix this all because a bunch of kids are disappearing.
Well, because they were in the woods
At nighttime.
after sunset, which you couldn't be, so it kind of like cursed you, and then the Shadow Man would come and take you away.
Yeah.
So that was all kind of part of that.
Yeah, so then they kind of
So they had to break it.
Yeah, they broke it and they fixed it, and then all those kids who disappeared came back as adults.
Right. So what about
the daughter-
who was the one character that they brought in that used to be in the old show?
I think it was the boy with the glasses that looked like Harry Potter.
No, Mr. Sardo. They created it. They kept Mr. Sardo, the character, as a magician, with a magician shop, but they had a new person playing Mr. Sardo, and he helped the kids in their journey.
Yep, and then the girl who fell off trying to grab the key off the cliff, she became the mayor, and then that's all I can really
So happy
remember.
ending, right?
Yeah, kind of. But there could be one day a plot twist and comes back to the Shadow Man.
I don't know.
But all I can really remember is that they just got rid of him.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So that's good.
Thank you.
Cool. So I'm glad that you like that one.
Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up on that. So, as always, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sophie. And you all listeners, thank you. If y'all have any questions or concerns or criticisms, please feel free to reach out. You can always find me at So You Like Horror on Instagram, where all the words are separated by underscores. Or you can email me. I've been getting some emails, which I'd like to address that real quick, because that's something I've been seeing lately, is like emails from people pitching like movies that are already done, wanting, I guess, the podcast to watch them and review the movies, which I don't really have that much of a problem with. That's what we do here. We watch a movie, we talk about it. I've had a few people ask me to have the directors on to interview, which that's not what we necessarily do here. We did it with the director for Older Gods, but that's not typically what we do here. I'm just not good at interviewing. If you want to get an interview going off the mats, we'll talk about some jiu-jitsu over there, I guess. But either way, you can reach out to me at soyoulikeHorror@gmail.com. Is that how it is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, gmail.com. I don't know how
Yeah.
to do emails.
When you finish the thing, is like the email, then you have to say .com.
Sometimes I forget. Yeah, you can email me at horror@gmail. And yeah, I'll get back to you. I always answer the emails at the very least. It's just I've been noticing a weird
Trend.
thing with that. And I was like, well, not even just that, just my personal email. I've been getting those same questions about like people wanting me to review movies on my personal emails. Like, how'd you get here? Like, this isn't for you. So I don't know. But either way, thank you to you all, the listeners. We do appreciate you. We appreciate everything. I don't know, dude.
Man, we happy.
I'm a little tired right now. I want to go read my comic books. That's all. I'm just trying to get out of here. I'm just a little sleepy.
I mean, I'm just waiting for Saturday to happen, and yeah. And I just want to go back and continue on my ginormous Lego world.
Okay.
I have stories to continue.
You do.
Okay.
I have too many things.
It's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll be around.
All right, goodbye.
I think that's good for now.
The end.